Bam, bam, banana. Hey, are you tired of your 2015 Hasbro Bad Boy Indominus Rex never being able to stand upright without some type of propping up or other ways of keeping it from flopping forward like so? Then stay tuned because I'm going to show you how we can get this thing to balance perfectly and also hold this pose. And really quickly, before I get into this video, I just wanted to announce the official winner of my 1,000 subscriber giveaway contest. That winner, picked randomly from over 300 submissions. Guys, 300 submissions. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. But that winner is Ali Tube Reviews. Go ahead and check out his channel. He does a lot of Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom unboxings and reviews. I've checked him out. I've subscribed. It looks awesome. Great job, Ali. I hope you enjoy your Rorivores and the Suchomimus. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying tuned. And thanks for being subscribed. For everyone else that hasn't won one of my giveaways yet, don't fret. Stay tuned. I will be hosting many more in the future as this channel continues to grow. So stay tuned for those. Alright, so what you see here is my custom Indominus Rex that's been repainted and balance corrected. So before we can fix our Indominus Rex, we have to understand what is at play here when the Indominus Rex will not hold its position. It'll fall forward, the balance will cause the figure to fall randomly, and the reason for that, it's twofold. So the first issue is in the leg assembly. So I'll go ahead and show this segment that's been taken apart so you can see exactly what's inside of the Indominus Rex. So it rotates on the center access pin here. That's how the leg moves. And in order to keep it in this position, so like that, there are two little indentations. I'll see if I can remove the screw here to show you. Right here, molded into the actual chassis or the body assembly. So whenever the leg's not in that position, it's a little bit free to move. So it has articulation, it can spin around like this. However, when it's in this little notch here, it's more likely to hold that position. Now the problem is it doesn't, because there's still too much weight in the front here. So it constantly just overrides that notch, and then as soon as it breaks free of that, it just swivels all the way until it can't go anymore. And that's why you constantly see the Indominus Rex in this pose, constantly flop forward. The opposite of that is if you're able to pivot it this way, then you can have it hold the pose upright because it can't go any further back. But neither one of those poses are good for play or for collecting because it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look natural. So the way to fix that is very easy. So first and foremost, this screw is normally just screwed into this leg portion here with no other pieces. So you can try tightening this screw alone, but really it's not going to create enough friction to slow this leg motion down. So all you really want to do is remove this screw, insert a small nylon washer. Now this you can get at a hardware store, at a Lowe's, at a Home Depot, whatever, for under $1. I mean, you can get a set of 4. I got a set of 4. I think it was maybe like $1.50, something like that. And what you want to do is sandwich that in between the top of the screw and the leg, and I'll go ahead and show why. Okay, so now we have that nylon washer sandwiched in between the screw and the leg. So this is very lightly on there, but now watch this motion, watch how much tougher it gets once we tighten it down a little bit. Okay, so now it's taking tremendous amounts of force to move this. Because what's happening is, I don't know if you can see it here, but the washer, the nylon washer, is actually getting concave, like it's getting forced, it's getting pushed down, and because of that it's creating all kinds of friction in between these two surfaces, which is slowing this motion down. It's actually stopping the motion without excessive pressure. So now this is probably a little bit too tight. I mean, it's probably great for collectors because it's never going to move. You can still, you know, you can still position it whichever way you like. However, it's nice to be able to move it a little bit more than that. So we'll go ahead and just back this off just a little bit and see what kind of difference that makes. Okay, so that's maybe a little bit too loose. We'll do another quarter turn forward. Boom. And there we go. Perfect. So now it'll hold this position, it'll hold that position, it'll hold this position without maxing out. So that's the first part. The next part is equally as important, because if you look at this figure, yes, we may have fixed the legs, but most of the mass of this figure is towards the front end. This is not a great mold. There's a lot of detail to it, it looks awesome. However, most of the weight is hanging over the front of the body here. So you need to counterbalance that. So the easiest way to counterbalance this figure is to, you know, take the tail off. And then what I've gone ahead and done in this figure is I've drilled a couple holes in the tail here. And then I've used my glue gun, inserted the tip into the tail opening, and just pumped a couple of glue sticks straight into the tail. And then I've held the tail upwards to make sure that the glue ends up all the way in the back. And then once that's, you know, that's dry and hard, the tail becomes much heavier and it helps counterbalance the figure. And again, the key is, if you're going to use the hot glue method like I've done, make sure that this tail is upright as it's drawing, otherwise you could have, you know, unintentional balance issues, you know, that way. Okay, so I've gone ahead and drilled 2 holes in the tail here. The first one is going to be the primary access hole. That's where we're gonna put the hot glue right into the tail. The other is actually a secondary hole in case this one gets filled up too fast and we can't access anymore, we can't put any more in. It's also going to be a breather hole, which means as we're filling up this chamber with the hot glue, there's nowhere for the air to escape, so we went ahead and made the second hole so that the air can go out. That way there's no massive air bubbles in there. So I was able to make these holes using a drill and a small drill bit. You can also make them with like maybe a hot knife or a Dremel tool or other multi-tool. Just be careful, you don't want to hurt yourself making these holes. So we'll go ahead and get the glue gun and start pumping it full of glue. So here we go. Also be very, very careful when using a hot glue gun. And you can see it's a full stick, and we'll start with this. And again, I'm going to hold this upright so that the glue goes to the bottom of the tail. And I can actually feel the tail, the outside of the tail getting very hot, which means that the glue is making its way all the way to the bottom, which is nice. Okay guys, well I've just finished filling up the tail here with hot glue. I ended up throwing a couple sheet metal screws in there just to add even more weight, and there is no more room in here, so we are done. It feels significantly heavier than the original, and I just want to show you guys exactly how much we have increased the weight of this. And for that I have this food scale, and I have it currently set to grams, so we'll go ahead and measure the original. Okay, and we'll let that settle. So it looks like the original with no added ballast weight ends up being 71 grams. And real quick, without this glue spilling out the side. Okay, so the filled one is 174 grams. That's a full over 100 grams more. So 103 additional grams. In this one, we've more than doubled the weight. That should be sufficient for our figure here. So let's go ahead and set this off to the side, and again leave it in the upright position so as it dries the glue is not spilling out and it stays exactly where we want it. So let's move on to those legs. Okay, so we'll start by unscrewing this leg here. And taking one of our washers and putting the screw through it, and then feeding it back into the hole. And then tightening it down. Try to make sure the washer stays as centered as possible here for the best results. Just go ahead and tighten that. Okay, that still feels a little loose, so we'll go ahead and just tighten it a little bit more. Okay. And that feels really nice right there. Still movable, but it takes much more pressure to move it. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, now we'll do the other leg. Okay. Get that washer, put on the screw. Might be easy to take this part off the back just to access that. The same thing, just keep that washer as centered as possible. Okay, and I've tightened it to where I think it needs to be. And that is really good there. Okay, so now all we have to do is put it back together and see how she stands. Okay, so the tail is pretty much dry, and the legs are now tightened with the nylon washers, so now it's time to put it all back together and see how she stands. So the first thing we'll do is we will put the tail back into this side of the body here, and you want to make sure you pay attention to the tabs so that everything fits in perfectly. So we'll go ahead and orient that proper way, and it'll slide right in there, and go a little bit further. Okay, perfect. And then we will combine the two halves. Now, the important thing to note is that there are a few things going on here you have to be aware of. The first is the position of the arm here. You want to make sure that they're in the same exact position, otherwise this square will not match up with the peg that's attached to the head, and it'll give you all kinds of trouble. So we'll make sure that we don't, you know, we have those in the same position, and also we will make sure that we don't pinch any of these wires, and that this stuff all stays put. So we'll go ahead and combine them now. Alright, my people, well, there it is. She's standing on her own, she's not tilting forward, and I gotta say, I put way more weight in the back of this tail than I did on my first version, and I really like the balance on this one. Like, it is not moving at all. The first one that I did, it actually does topple over sometimes because it doesn't feel like it has enough weight in the tail, but this one is very, very nicely balanced. Like, it takes a lot for it to want to fall forward, and even when you try and get it to fall forward, it doesn't want to fall forward. And we'll just make sure the electronics still work. Beautiful. So the electronics work, the lights work, and it stands. Now guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing because I will be repainting this figure in addition to other figures from both Hasbro and Mattel. And if this video helped me out, let me know in the comment section below. Also, I love seeing these figures customized, so let me know if you've done that. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. This should hopefully hold me over for a little while we wait for the Mattel Indominus Rex, which hopefully is coming soon. I've heard rumors that it's coming at the end of 2018, and other rumors that say that it's coming in 2019. Either way, we're going to need an Indominus Rex from Mattel that's a little bit better than this one. This is the painted version of the clear one that comes in the 3-pack. And while I love this mold, and you can definitely tell that this was scaled down to this size, they probably already have the figure ready to go at Mattel headquarters, and they've just been told to wait on it for now. I'm definitely craving more Indominus Rex, so I can't wait to see more from Mattel, and this should hold me over for now. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video.